Now this new CR-V is really important for Honda. Now you might be thinking, I suppose I see a few driving around in the UK, but actually it's a really big seller in the US and also really popular in Asia Pac. So Honda really haven't held back with this all new model. You can tell.
Following Honda's recent form of producing surprisingly grown-up and sophisticated designs, think the new Civic and even latest HR-V, the new CR-V really does almost look premium.
Now it's not just these precise lines and slim LED headlights that help the CR-V glow up, but they've actually gone more fundamental. They've moved the A-pillars further back, giving it a more upright windscreen and a really long bonnet.
Overall, the new CR-V is only marginally bigger than the current model, but it does have an extra 40mm of length in the wheelbase, opening up more rear seat space. But the bigger changes have happened up front.
Now this is where the real magic's happened. The dashboard is far more grown up than it was before. It's really sophisticated and high-end looking. Now it replaces the previous car's kind of like van-like setup with something that's much more akin to the new Civic, which is a really good thing. In fact, without using that overused P word, premium, it kind of does feel premium, which is exactly what Honda's trying to achieve.
Now in terms of interior tech, there have been some worthwhile upgrades, but they still aren't quite class-leading. A 9-inch touchscreen is standard on all models, and while it is responsive, clear and easy to hook up to CarPlay and Android Auto, not exactly flashy, and existing rivals already have the advantage in this regard.
Yet what Honda's really nailed with this car are the fundamentals. The ergonomics are perfect, the seating position's really good, and things like the steering wheel and the climate controls, they're actually really well made and really intuitive. I'd rather take that over some form of 64 different colours of interior lighting. That's not really my thing. Now, standard equipment on future CR-Vs is still yet to be absolutely finalised, but all models become really well equipped. So everything's going to have leather seats, everything's going to have this 9-inch touchscreen, dual zone climate control, leather steering wheel, all that sort of thing. Now this is a top spec car, so we've got things like a panoramic roof, we've got a fancy stereo, and heated and cooled leather seats. Now the infotainment system itself isn't particularly fancy, but the 9-inch display is crisp, it's clear, and it's super easy to use. Now there's wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and let's be honest, we're all going to be connecting our phones to it anyway.
Honda's also been hard at work under the skin, introducing 2 new hybrid powertrains to the CR-V range. The first, entry-level model, will run Honda's clever eHEV hybrid system that essentially combines 2 electric motors and a small battery to power the wheels for a majority of the time. Charge then comes from a 2-litre combustion engine that in most situations acts purely as a generator. Now at motorway speeds, the petrol engine is then able to directly drive the wheels, taking over at the point that a traditional combustion engine is more efficient. Peak power is rated at 184 brake horsepower, with peak torque of 335 Nm. Now it's worth noting that because these figures are generated from an electric motor and not the petrol engine, that full torque figure is available from a standstill, giving it a decent EV-like shove the instant you hit the pedal.
Now this CR-V is actually the new plug-in hybrid, and it joins the new eHEV and operationally is much the same, but comes with a much bigger battery pack to give you around 50 miles of all-electric drive. Now the compromise is that once those batteries are depleted, the extra weight means that it's much less efficient, but that's the trade-off with a plug-in hybrid.
Now obviously, we can't tell you what it's like to drive yet, but it's worth noting that Honda's on something of a roll at the moment. The new Civic, which this car shares an awful lot with, is one of the best normal hatchbacks you can buy, and there's no reason to think that this new CR-V will be any different. Like the Civic though, we expect it to be priced a notch or two higher than before, creeping ever closer to that 40k mark in the UK. The range will be relatively limited, with 2 models available with the eHEV powertrain and a single high-specification model for the plug-in.
So Honda's gone all premium. Now granted, this type of car isn't necessarily the most exciting in the world, but it's the car that you and I actually buy. Do you think they've done it right? Let us know in the comments below.
If you like our videos, subscribe to our channel. And if this new CR-V floated your boat, check out our video on its equally new little brother, the ZR-V, at the link on your screen now.